Hi everybody, my name's Hiawatha Bray. I'm a technology reporter for the Boston Globe, and like just about everybody else, in May of 2020, I'm stranded at home for the pandemic. I don't know what other people do to pass the time. Me, I start mucking around with technology. I've done all kinds of crazy things the last few weeks, like build a new computer and then wreck it, run Ethernet cable through the house, and now I've just come over with this desperate desire to have more storage. So I went to work and went out to Micro Center. Now there's an essential service right there. The wonderful computer store in Cambridge. They sell all kinds of parts and stuff. And I went out there and I bought the makings of a NAS box. If you don't know what a NAS box is, watch carefully. This is one of them now. Light little thing from a company called Zixel. I think I'm pronouncing that right. NAS, that's NAS, stands for Network Attached Storage. What the heck does that mean? Well, it basically means this is a device that acts like a storage server for a home network. You can use it to store huge amounts of whatever you want and set it up so that every computer in the house gets access to it. Now that I've got gigabit Ethernet running through both floors of the house, we can put this really anywhere on the network, and anybody can use it for any purpose. What we're going to use it for, by the way, is for my wife's YouTube videos. But we're going to probably throw a few more other things in there too. Don't go looking for my wife's YouTube videos. They haven't been published yet. This is all part of her enterprise to become a multimedia titan, and I'm helping out because it gave me a great excuse to buy all kinds of junk. Okay, this only cost $99, which is not bad for a NAS box. I just hope it works. Here's a NAS box. Not very heavy. Hard to know how you can store terabytes of data in that. And the answer is you can't, because there's nothing in there to store it on. Popping the hood here. Here's what you see inside. A pair of plastic racks with nothing in them. That's what you get for your $99. Do you feel cheated? Well, I don't, at least not yet anyway. Because, of course, what you have to add separately are these bad boys here. These are Iron Wolf. I love that name. Iron Wolf. They're hard drives, the kind you find inside a typical desktop computer, only these aren't quite the same. Iron Wolf, which is made by the company Seagate, is a particular type of hard drive, and if you look closely at it, you will see it says Iron Wolf NAS, Iron Wolf NAS. This is a hard drive that is specially engineered to be used in a network-attached storage box. That means it's designed for fairly heavy-duty use. Nevertheless, you can get these at a great price. This one, or these two, only cost about $100 a piece, and they hold 4 terabytes each. That's pretty impressive. By the way, just in passing, if you're in the market for NAS hard drives, there's been an interesting sort of mini scandal in the technology world lately. There are 2 basic types of design for the magnetic recording systems used on hard drives. One's called conventional magnetic recording, and the other one is called, the name escapes me, but the acronym is SMR. I think it's, oh dear, I can't remember what the S stands for. Doesn't matter. Do not buy an SMR drive if you're doing it to build a NAS box. They're fine for desktop computers, but if you want a NAS box, you should build with a drive called a CMR drive. Go online, look for whichever brand of drive you're looking at, usually Toshiba, Western Digital, or Seagate. And make sure you get CMR drives if you're going to use them in building a NAS box, because CMR drives are much faster when writing data. Now I take these drives and I put them in this plastic rack, and I have to grab a screwdriver. Yes, don't you love it when you need a screwdriver to build some digital stuff? I don't know about you, but it just makes me feel good. Wait a minute. Oh, that explains a lot. I put it in backwards. There you go. We're not going to use all of this in the video, of course. But it doesn't matter. You got plenty of room so you can shoot it. a NAS box is based on the same principle that they use in these huge, gigantic places where you occasionally have to replace a bad hard drive. Just pull it out, stick a new one in. That's the idea. Now, you can barely see it up in there, but the reason you have to put it in the correct end first is because this box here has a plug that is designed to fit the power and data plug of this drive. And all you got to do is slide it in and shove it in. That drive is now in place and ready to rock. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Yep, make sure everything's in the right position. Cocked, locked, ready to rock, and we slip this over. And I have just assembled, oh, it's much heavier now, by the way. Oh yeah, this thing's much heavier now. Now, you can use this and give yourself 8 terabytes of total storage. But I'm paranoid. I'm always insecure. So I've decided that I'm going to set this up using a technology that's been around for a long time called RAID, R-A-I-D. And that is a technology that allows you to program this so that it will simply copy exactly the same data on both of these drives. If one of them goes bad, the other one will have the data. So this is still going to be 4 terabytes of storage. It's going to be RAID mirrored. So it's mirroring, which means that both drives will contain exactly the same data. Or you could set it up so that you just use this as one big 8 terabyte drive. But next section of this video will show me actually hooking it up to a network and seeing if the bloody thing works. Okay, well, we stopped for dinner and everything, and now we've moved locations to the rather cluttered home office here. You know, you might want to... No, don't show them. On second thought, don't show them. There's too much dirty laundry and used socks around here. But anyway, here is our completely assembled Zyxel NAS box with 2 4 terabyte drives in it. Now I'm going to see if it works properly. I'm going to take the power cord here. Whoa, all kinds of stuff falling. I'm going to take the power cord and... Well, you don't have to get that close and show all that, but you can if you want to. Insert the power cord in there, and then I'm going to take the network cable, which goes in the back here. And I happen to have an 8-port Ethernet switch here, which I'm just going to plug in here like this. So now, in principle, this box is connected to the home network, and we should be able to access the storage data. Let me see. Well, there's no data on it now, I can tell you that. In fact, what it's supposed to do, apparently, is to sit here and set itself up. So let's hit the button, turn it on. Okay, now that we've got it plugged in and running, the next thing I'm supposed to do is go over here and look it up in my browser. Okay, and press this button here.
Which one?
This button right here. I'm supposed to press it, and now so far, well, that didn't go well. The device did not automatically configure itself. And I was tearing my hair, because if you look through the instructions that came with this thing, they didn't tell you that there's an alternate way of getting it to fire up. But I've had enough experience with this kind of stuff that, yeah, I went to Google and went looking for some other way of solving the problem. Sure enough, I found it. Thank you, Google. It turns out, even though there's not a word about it in the documentation, there is a program that Zyxel makes available for downloading that you can install on a PC, and that will automatically look over the network and find the device. And that is what we see here. I installed that software on this PC, and now it's found it, and there's the IP address of our NAS box. Now I'm going to run the initialization wizard, which I have to do, and which ought to, oh wait, I've got to put in, what is it? There's a default username and password, yep, and you can guess what the default username and password is, admin1234. Yeah, I'm going to change that. See? They command you to change it. Turn off the camera. No, just turn the camera away. No, seriously, point the camera skyward so that no one can see what I'm putting in here. Okay. Well, let's give them points for that. Well, okay, we can point it back now. Okay. Let's give them points for that. You're not pointing at my fingers, are you?
Nope.
Good. Just checking. Yes, let's give them points. All right. Please insert hard disk and create at least one volume first. All right. Create volume. Okay. Yes, we do. Create multiple volumes on disk group. Create single volume on RAID. I am going to do RAID because what I want to do, yep, I'm trying to create a RAID type. That's right. This is going to be mirrored. What I'm doing here is I put 2 drives in this box, 4 terabytes each. And to be extra secure, I'm going to set them up in a RAID array so that each drive is simply a copy of the other. If one drive ever goes bad, all the data will still be saved on the other drive. All I'd have to do is buy another drive of the same size, plug it in, and the first drive would automatically copy everything onto the second, and we'd be back in business. Very secure way of storing data so you don't lose it. Okay, so I'm just going to tell it next. Yep, all the data will be erased, but that's fine. They're brand new drives. There's nothing on them. And now it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and hit apply. Okay, so this is going to take some time, and there's no point making you sit through the whole thing, I think. Or is it?
That's quick.
It's going pretty fast. It's going to do volume 1 pretty quickly. It's basically formatting them, I guess, as what? I'm not sure. Because this is not running Windows, of course. Anyway, there's no need to... Oops, whoa! And now it's going to reboot the NAS. So there you go, 4 terabytes of secure storage, ready to protect and preserve all the wonderful stuff our family has built up over the years. Thousands of photographs, hundreds of videos, even my unpublished novel, which I might let you take a peek at if you ask me nicely. This is one of the ways I've kept my head in one piece while waiting for the pandemic to lift. Building gadgets, learning how to make them work better. Maybe you have done the same. Maybe you've come up with some interesting gadget adventures that you'd like to tell me about. Who knows, maybe I'll write about them for the Globe. If you'd like to, reach out to me. Just send me an email, bray@globe.com. That's B as in book, R-A-Y @globe.com. And while you're at it, tell me what you thought of the video. This is Hiawatha Bray. You have a good evening now.